Hello and welcome to a Cavell podcast / video interview recording in the lead up to our CloudCon Summit event. I'm joined today by Chris Carabello, and he is going to be talking to us about the UC market from Metaswitch's perspective. So this is going to be, a bit of an interview back and forth, and then, hear a bit more about what they're going to be talking about at the event. But first, Chris, maybe you want to introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah, absolutely, Finbar. Great to talk with you today. I'm Chris Carabello. I lead product marketing for Metaswitch's business and UC solution. Pleased to now be a part of Microsoft. I've been in the business comms market for 25 years now, building and marketing products, previously working for service provider operators, and for the past 14 years with Metaswitch.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't know whether to say Metaswitch owned by Microsoft or just Metaswitch or what your official branding was anymore. But I think that's quite an interesting time for you guys as a company following that acquisition last year.
Absolutely. I think, I've seen a lot in my 25 years, and I've never been more excited about, the UC market and my place in it as I am right now. Certainly, cloud communications has won relative to premises-based communications, and Metaswitch and our 330 plus operator customers and our 30 million end users supported by them in partnership now with Microsoft and all the amazing things that they're doing. I've been watching Ignite this week. So a lot of amazing things that they're doing and that really complement well with our combined operator strategy to get service providers more productive in selling their own Metaswitch-based UC services alongside Microsoft Teams. It's really an exciting time.
Absolutely. And I mean, is that kind of just like the trends you see for the market then in 2021 is just an expansion of the technology available, or is there going to be some other big changes coming along?
Yeah, I think as difficult as the pandemic has been for all of us, I think we can all be proud with what the industry has done, particularly at Metaswitch and Microsoft, to enable businesses and their workers who are displaced from the office by the pandemic to maintain business continuity, productivity, customer engagement. And it's been a function of the flexibility and availability of, what the conference is all about, cloud communications. I think while 2020 was about survival for many businesses, get my remote and mobile employees engaged and productive, like as quickly as possible. And certainly solutions like Microsoft Teams were instrumental in driving that. I think 2021 and the near term will be about optimizing that experience to drive increased utilization, to reduce complexity and cost. And, the complexity, and cost is primarily, you have a blend of users in distributed enterprises where, you have folks using Teams now, right? 150 plus using Teams. You still have legacy phone systems in place. You have operator branded UC services that are out there as well. And these blend of users may even exist within the same enterprise. So I think the operator service provider has a unique opportunity with the right platform partner to be able to effectively serve that hybrid and optimize that hybrid market.
And I guess that's kind of like that sweet spot where you have to really start to just do more as a service provider and utilize more types of technology and more capabilities to really build that comprehensive platform that your customers are now starting to ask for because they need more functionality and things like that.
Yeah, they need more functionality. Certainly, voice is still important, messaging, the growth of video to enable like we're having now
Yep.
is absolutely critical. But the operator really plays an important role in making all that complexity as simple as possible for the user, integrating that user experience and integrating those with maybe their managed network and other support services to the extent that operators have mobile networks really delivering a good experience for the desktop and the mobile device. So really making the complex simple is the role of the operator in allowing the business to focus on what they need to focus on, which is supporting customers and maintaining employee collaboration.
Absolutely. So I guess then, if we talked a bit about what 2021 might bring, I guess what are the main lessons that you're taking from last year then into this year as a company and for your customers and things like that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that needs to be developed again to support that hybrid use case that I had talked about. So, we're focused on kind of 4 key areas of development and integration. One is continuing to maximize the user experience, right? All these great tools that we're developing is only as good as if they are actually utilized by the user.
Yeah.
And for the operator and for the supplier like myself, we recognize that the user has maybe 4 or 5 or 6 different ways in which they can communicate and collaborate. So really optimizing the user experience such that they use the operator delivered service, particularly for the mobile user, which is increasing in importance. 2, we're focused on integrating with Microsoft Teams. I think surveys that I've seen, conversations that we're having across our customer base, direct routing and UC Teams integrations are really, really front and center because that's what their customers are demanding. So now that Metaswitch is part of Microsoft, we're very well aligned with delivering that user experience on the direct routing side and on the Teams UC integration side. And that's really an exciting area of development for us.
It's kind of a key point of seamless communication, really, is that, if I'm a customer and I'm calling you, I don't need to go and open an app to do it. I should be able to put in a phone number. And if you're a person who's at an end enterprise who's using a thing, you just want to be able to put in a phone number or call someone or hit a contact. And if you hit a contact, you shouldn't really care how your application is connecting to that person, whether it's a phone number or anything like that. It should just connect you. And, I guess that's one of the things you need to work to tackle is this idea that I can't call someone because they're on a mobile phone and they don't have the application installed, right? I mean, how does that feel natural? How is that easy communication?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can't, as an industry, impose the behavior that we would like to have the user utilize. If, for example, like you said, they are making business calls on their personal phone using their own identities. So we must be able to, reach the customer where they are, but give them a user experience that, tips the scales for them to utilize that service. So, the simplest thing is, ensuring that, collaboration and the productivity suite, along with voice messaging and video, is all very well integrated so that, I can access my SharePoint files on my mobile device and, talk to a colleague or group of colleagues wherever I am on whatever device I'm using, on whatever platform I'm using. So again, that is a great place for the operator to leverage their network, to leverage the relationships that they have with their customers, to deliver that sort of experience.
Mm. Mm. And I think that will be like the key differentiator as well between operators, is the ones who can successfully, make that happen versus the ones who are, stuck in the older way of doing things where it's mostly just number based and not as software driven and, with the flexibility that comes with that.
Yeah, I think, certainly UCaaS has, depending on the market, granted, certainly crossed the chasm into the mainstream. And it can be a challenging time where, there's, a lot of competition chasing a market. And, again, I think those that can offer the breadth of services with the best user experience, leveraging their network to deliver quality, and critically now, particularly with a lot of mobile and remote workers, security, and huge amount of security demands that are necessary. And
yeah, absolutely.
Now being a part of Microsoft and deploying our network UC network functions in Azure, there's a great deal that we can now deliver to the operator to allow them to deliver those suites of features and services, that great user experience, but do so very early, because the risks of doing it poorly is too great.
Yeah, and I mean, from our own enterprise research last year, one of the biggest issues that people had during the pandemic was security as a worry, with half of all the businesses we talked to saying, look, we're really concerned about security at every size as well. Just, we no longer have control when people aren't behind the office firewall. How do we actually make sure they're safe? I mean, it's just such a challenge. Yeah, so I mean, a hybrid model, is that how we connect to customers and each other in the future? Is that the way forward, or is it going to be something else? Is there another way that we're going to end up talking to each other? Is there a better way to communicate?
Well, I think we've come a long way from strings and tin cans. I think Microsoft in their announcements this week at Operator Connect, I mean, they led with acknowledging and recognizing the value of voice, particularly in the enterprise. Mm-hmm. That alongside messaging and video, and I think 2020 the amount of innovation, not only from Metaswitch, Microsoft, but also others, have been really outstanding, and to create an environment where, even though we're not physically connected, we feel more connected. And even now leveraging virtual reality into that. Yeah,
I've seen some very odd.
Yeah, it's so I think, I mean, it's just been profound, the advancements that's taken place, that's created a really nice environment for the fundamental and permanent change to the workspace going forward. And I know Cavell has documented this in their recent research. So that's what the operator needs to deliver, to leverage the great capabilities of innovation from suppliers like Metaswitch and Microsoft, package them in a way that's simple to consume, and meets the user where they are on mobile, desktop, in the office, wherever they may be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that will be the challenge for operators then in the future, is to find the best way to do that, and leverage cloud in a way that makes that service scalable and capable of weathering whatever comes next, which will be nothing, because 2021 is going to be really peaceful and relaxed, as we all hope. Well, I mean, thanks, Chris, for coming along. I just want to see, are there any last thoughts you'd like the listeners to take away with them
No, we really look forward to our presentation at the Cavell Communications Summit. We have a number of speakers there and a number of customers there. So, we know you guys do a great job in putting on compelling content. And so we look forward to talking with folks there and in our booth naturally. And they can always, reach out to us directly to learn more about what we're doing with direct routing, Max UC based UCaaS service, and other innovations we're delivering now in partnership with Microsoft.
Yeah, thanks. And as Chris mentioned, the CloudCom Summit is coming up on the 17th and 18th of March. So depending on when you're listening to this, that may be just soon enough for you to jump in and dive in. Make sure you get a ticket and come along. There'll be great speakers. Metaswitch will be talking. There'll be booths, so you can go and learn more from these companies directly. I'll be there, which is always a positive, as well as the other analysts from Cavell to answer your questions and sort of be there to talk to you. So we really do hope to see you there. And thanks again, Chris. And thanks to everyone for listening as well.
Thank you.